Well, hello again, everyone. Nick Michalak and Steve Frazier here again.
Hey, hey, guys.
It's continuing our Friday the 13th commentary series with part 3.
Woohoo!
Not watching in 3D today, unfortunately, because I couldn't find the Blu-ray, but regardless of that, guys, if you want
2D's enough.
2D's enough. Okay, guys, you want to sync this up with your own copy of the film, hit the timestamp to 0, and then press play right now.
Have you seen this in 3D at any
No.
point? Oh,
No.
I did it once when the DVDs first came out, and we did the whole put on the glass because it only comes with 2 pairs, so only 2 people can do it at a time, I think. But it actually wasn't that awful. It kind of worked.
Okay.
It kind of worked. A Jason Inc. Steve Miner returning.
Yes.
It'd be fun to kind of compare and contrast the.
Yeah. It's
So-
the one time a director actually returned to the series for another entry, so.
That's actually pretty rare in all of horror
Yeah.
to do back-to-backs. So here's our 10-minute recap,
Yeah.
like we discussed in the previous film, where there wasn't a home video market
Yeah.
for you to just say, "Hey, let's catch up," and drive to Blockbuster and grab that part 2.
Yeah. And it's slightly interesting to know because of the 3D process they had to go with the lenses and the setup and everything. This is shot in CinemaScope instead of the 185 format. So that's why this footage is kind of like matted down and whatnot, different from how it was presented in part 2.
I don't think I ever noticed that.
Yeah. All the other ones up until Freddy vs. Jason were all 185. And, this one took a little longer because the last one came out April 81. This one was August the following year, so they about 13, 14 months. So
This came out in 82?
82.
I was thinking it was 83. And 3D was really hot at the time. It was
Amityville 3D, Jaws 3D.
If you had a part 3 and you didn't put that prick in 3D, then you just weren't doing it right.
You weren't.
So they didn't reshoot this to be in 3D though. I don't think.
No, probably not.
Not reshoot it, but
I
they didn't.
There was no way of converting it.
Converting
back then. I
it,
don't
right?
think so no.
People just had to wait to put their glasses on until after this part was
probably
over.
when the
The title screen comes
the
on,
goofy credits and everything pop on. Probably, yeah.
And this is the one where the music gets a little more
Funky.
funky. Yeah, it's disco-y. I actually really like it. I really like it.
You get a George Clinton Funkadelic or something in here.
It's also interesting here that they didn't cut to, in the last film, Alice was dreaming, and that was their way of doing a flashback. Here, they just said, you know what?
We'll just
fuck it. We're going to show you the whole end of the film.
Yeah.
We're just going to put the whole last reel on.
Yeah.
Maybe not the whole reel, but I mean, this is a lot of the film.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have a timestamp on it, but it's probably 4 or 5 minutes worth of recap.
Probably, yeah.
Which, I don't know. It's also interesting that they're doing this, and the events of 3 are not a pick up exactly where this one left off kind of thing. Because sometimes that, they'll re-show the end of the last one so that you can to be continued and just pick up right then and there. Like a Halloween.
Halloween, Back to the Future 2, 3 type of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was trying to stick with the horror genre.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Just the first thing that popped in mind.
Whereas in Halloween 2, they actually reshot it.
Reshot parts of it, yeah.
And, there's different...
Doesn't exactly sync up.
No. There's differences.
Yeah.
But still, pretty ingenious that they just continued on the same night. Not that we're here to talk about Halloween 2, but...
maybe another day.
Another day. Maybe after we're done with this franchise, we can dig into that one.
Maybe.
And I don't think we ever find out what happened to Paul.
No, it's a mystery for the franchise.
Among many other things, like, how did he live in the woods for 30 years? A mystery of the franchise. I guess I never really got into that whole, like, message board and...
I was.
I know you were, and that's why I brought it up, because, I don't know, you had a... Did you have a fan website for this, or...
Friday the 13th is basically the genesis of everything, because I became a fan of Friday the 13th, met my friend Joey on the Friday the 13th message board, and I jumped onto his website.
Okay.
Where he was covering a whole bunch of horror films.
Now this is new.
Yeah, this is extra. But he had already started up a website. He was having some trouble with it, looking for a site designer, so I jumped on there, gave it the name Forever Horror, and then I basically ran the site after he went off and was working on school studies and everything for the next couple of years. I pretty much ran the site for like the next 9 years, whatnot.
Okay. And
so without Friday the 13th, I don't have Forever Horror. I don't have Forever Cinematic. I don't know how much I would have actually gone and done, like, evolved myself as a movie reviewer. So, thank you, Friday the 13th.
Okay, how awesome is A, this music, and B, these credits?
Yeah. And this was an interesting thing. Somewhere like in the early 80s, when they had the title screens, they'd have these black pillar box or something on the sides. I never got an explanation for why that was.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It happened in a couple of films.
Maybe it was because it was done in, like, post-production.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean...
And you can definitely, on this Manfredini score, you can definitely hear his influence, but they just said, you know what, let's change it up.
Yeah, get some synthesizers in here or something.
That little, that drum machine, yeah. Rocket. I'm having a great time right now. Gerald Field. Do you know if he's ever done anything else? That DP?
I'd never heard of him before.
Okay. I mean, how great would it be? How about either of those two? Have you ever heard of any of those two?
Tracie, yeah. Your old Frank Mancuso Jr. It's like a Paramount executive or something, so. No producing credit for Steve Miner this time.
No.
So unfortunate. One less paycheck.
Crystal Lake. It says.
Art direction at its finest.
What can we get here? Groceries? Cafe?
Yeah.
Gaming? Is that what that says? Camping. Excuse me. Camping equipment. Okay. That's a nice little shot there.
Yeah.
I've always been fascinated by that.
The little squiggly
the squiggly
thing.
there.
I just noticed that.
Yeah, that's always been there. Must have been on the lens or some kind of spot.
In the gate or something.
Yeah.
Check the gate.
Yeah, as a former projectionist, I know all about, just a little hair in the lens or whatever. Obviously, it's blown
10
up.
feet
Yeah,
tall
so
now.
The curlers.
Oh boy.
And here's our first gag.
Gag, yeah.
And it's coming right at us. Oh, look out. So it does kind of lose something. Now, when I was a kid and I watched this for the first time, I had no idea that it was in 3D because I rented it on home video, and obviously they didn't have that.
Didn't have a clue.
And this movie came out when I was like 2 or 3 or something, so I had no idea.
Yeah.
So, okay, I guess this one does pick up very short. This part right here, at least, because she's watching the news coverage.
Yeah.
Of, this horrible body count.
Yeah, massacre.
Good word for it.
There's our footage from the first film. She's watching the second film right now. Now it's getting...
Yeah. Talk about meta.
Getting meta.
That's funny. And whoa.
Jason got a haircut. He was all woolly and everything. Looked like
He definitely had the half hair the last time.
Yeah. Again, who gives a shit about continuity now?
No, nobody.
They didn't care.
Nobody. Coors.
New make a fake guy in the film. He's gonna make his own thing. Screw it.
That's right. And how stark of a contrast is Mr. Richard Brooker in this film as Jason compared to the Steve Dash of the second film.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, Brooker is one of my favorite portrayals because he plays the character almost matter-of-factly. Things are just casual to him. The killing is casual to him, and he's very confident in the role.
Yeah, he's definitely one of my faves too.
There's a patience to his Jason. He takes his time to do it right.
It's not as cartoonish as it becomes later on.
Yeah.
It's actually a decent transition from the human in part 2 to that cartoonish character later on. It's kind of that middle ground. He's still a real person here.
Yeah.
He's not like a robot.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's real talk here. Did you ever try the fish food?
No.
I've never have either.
I killed a couple goldfish in my time, but no.
Well, who hasn't? But
of course. Yeah.
I'm telling you, when you read what's in this shit...
No, you don't want to have any close to it.
Yeah, that's bad times. I mean, I know people that have tried it just because.
Yeah.
This always made me laugh too that he would just before the days of the hermetically sealed items, you could just pop a top and
for someone poisons some Tylenol.
Right. Look at that half watermelon there.
Hope that's fresh.
Now see, that's was it Sunny D? It almost looked like the cellophane was ripped off of that one. So, but see, now we're talking.
All that Campbell's soup.
That's not quite an Entenmann's donut, but like the Entenmann's frosted donuts like that is one of my favorite donuts of all time. I love that chocolate donut. Those curlers are out of control.
Yeah.
It's a big bunny. Guess I never really realized how giant that thing was. There you go. Eat that donut. Wife be damned. And yeah, you're right. Now that I'm thinking about it, she just watched the news coverage of this thing. So this is fresh, hot off the end of the second one. He really shouldn't look all that different. He's got a completely different wardrobe, a completely different head.
His shoulder looks fine. Where they buried the machete
the hatchet?
into it.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely saw the wire on that.
Yeah.
That was a bad gag. Well, anyway, as I was saying before, I didn't know that this was in 3D as a kid. So I'm watching it and I'm like,
it's weird.
This is weird. It felt weird. The old outhouse. And Coca-Cola.
Again, jeez.
And that's not Coca-Cola.
No, it's not.
From what I understand, that goes pretty well with Coca-Cola.
Sure. A little bit of whiskey there, something.
Always a favorite activity while you're taking a dump is to have a drink of whiskey. Coca-Cola clock.
And there's
telling you.
Fire extinguisher. It's turning into pinpoint the fire extinguisher in the shot.
There were. I noticed quite a few in the last film before you pointed it out, and I was completely joking on that last one when I said that the show was sponsored by Coca-Cola. But now I'm starting to think.
You never know.
You never know. Maybe they started getting wise and said, "Hey, let's do some product placement." maybe not, because it was still the #1 brand at the time, you know. So it's very possible that that was just what was laying around.
Yeah.
This feels actually very much like the second one.
In a way, yeah.
With the close-up shots and the creating the tension.
Yeah.
That kind of point of view.
Yeah. One thing with this one, when I always felt that probably because the film set they had to use for the 3D process always looked a lot grungier.
It's very dark.
Because, I mean, in Jaws 3D also has the problem, because of the 3D film stock, it's very soft. Looks like 16mm film. It's highly grainy. It's not good resolution from it, which one of the reasons I had hoped to find a Blu-ray, which I couldn't find because they're kind of out of print right now. So we're just watching an old DVD copy.
An old Harold, is that his name?
Yeah.
Got the meat cleaver to the chest. I don't know where. I guess there might be a meat cleaver laying around.
Yeah.
It always just made me laugh how there's just a new weapon every time. Like,
yeah.
Where do they come from? At least in the second one, they kind of, set it up.
Yeah.
Oh, 3D mouse rat. Mouse rat.
Those red eyes.
And the old knitting needle through the back of the head. That old favorite. And okay. Who holds a bat like that? You idiot. I'd like to go on record right now and say that she is my most favorite Friday heroine.
Okay.
As far as, like, me being attracted to her.
She's very attractive, yes.
At least they're a little more upfront about the promiscuity here.
Yeah.
And here we go, a little bit of exposition. And good old Shelley. Prankster Shelley. I sympathize with a good Jew character. I wonder if he knew. I mean, obviously nobody knew.
Yeah.
But can you imagine reading this script? Like, you get the script, you go, I'm going to play this character named Shelley. I'm kind of a doofus. I'm a prankster. Nobody likes me. It's self-deprecating. Like, whatever. And I'm going to have this hockey mask. And I'm going to basically reinvent this entire... I'm going to basically create this whole franchise.
Create the iconography.
Right. Oh dear.
Oh, pot smokers.
Never got into that either.
No.
That, to me, does not look like the amount of smoke that would be generated from this process, but I could be wrong.
The film is definitely starting to lay in a little bit more goofier elements.
Already,
in terms of characters and gags. So, this one starts to get a little stereotypical with, like, stereotypical stoners, hippies, whatnot. Like,
I feel like this is real, though. I feel like this actually, these people existed.
Yeah.
She's pregnant?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Oh, pass the weed in 3D.
Jeez.
You're telling me that this girl is pregnant. And I've never noticed this. I've never heard this line before. In the 25 times that I've seen this film, or whatever it is, however many it is.
This guy's got to just be their hookup for the weed. He's like teenagers hooked up with some like 45-year-old hippie.
Yeah, it's weird. Like how do they know who these people are? Like even the woman he's with there.
Oh,
they're all eating the pot.
This is where Super Troopers got it from, where they're swallowing all the pot before the cops pull them over.
And unnecessary. Everybody spit out the pot! Spit out the pot!
Oh.
Nice beige colored cop car.
Yeah. Is it Eric Estrada?
It might be. Okay, so this one, look at that tourist. This is actually happening in real time. Like right after the events of the second one, then. I guess I hadn't realized that either. It's little things that you don't remember.
2, 3, and 4 do take place pretty much all within the same week, one another.
Yeah. Hassenpfeffer. How would she not see that? It's siesta time, don't you know?
It's like we don't have Crazy Ralph anymore, so we got.
We gotta have this guy.
We gotta have some other weird dudes.
Yeah, I guess this guy is pretty much your Crazy Ralph replacement.
Yeah.
Like, you're right. Where did they find Cheech and Chong here?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that
I think this is, I mean, aside from this, you know, I'm trying to warn you. Oh, my. Looks like a real eye.
Yeah.
If there hadn't have been a Crazy Ralph in the first two films, I feel like that would have been a pretty good character to have.
Yeah.
I just feel like because we had Crazy Ralph, it feels like a copycat scenario.
Yeah, just like, yeah.
And it lost...
Yeah.
It lost its kind of impact. Good shot of the bumpy bridge. And obviously this is yet a third camp.
Yes.
Because... Oh my. And she did imply that there was some sort of shenanigans that happened to her years ago, which we will learn about later.
There's a flashback later on, which, again, continuity be damned.
I always loved the carpeted inside of a van. That always made me laugh. Here's our misdirection, point of view, perspective. I do always like these through the door window kind of shots. I just think they're neat.
Jump scares.
A little bit. And once again, we have this, what appears to be an 18-year-old girl and a 40-year-old man.
Yes.
I'm sure that he's supposed to be in his like late 20s, but
still,
he looks really old. There's more continuity problems. Apparently 2 years ago something happened here, but that sheriff indicated, the one that got butchered in Jason's cabin there, indicated that, you know, it had been...
Yeah, the campfire tale said it was 5 years previous.
There had been nothing going on for 5 years.
Yeah.
What a pig. She walks in the door after 2 years, and first thing he wants to do is bone. I mean, I get it, but... I mean, look at her.
Shag carpet.
I'm telling you, it's so ridiculous. Like, I get maybe having it on the floor, but why does every side piece, every paneling, everything have to have... Like, it's ridiculous. Oh, woe is me.
Like 1982 is the last time you could really get away with that hairstyle.
The Jufro?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Unless you're like Phil Spector or something.
I suppose. Great barn. I really like the visuals of this. Some nice Bob Ross artwork.
Bob Ross. Well, there you go. Bob Ross has got the hairstyle.
Yes, he does. There we go.
There's our connective tissue.
When was the last time you were in a hammock?
Oh, long, long time ago. I don't find them very comfortable, though.
No?
No. Just too afraid of falling on my face.
You know what? I don't mind a hammock. I don't know if I like just those string ones, but... There's, I don't know, every time I see one of these, like, hay lofts in a barn, I think of this movie. Just because it comes into play later on, and it's one of the, the first movies that I watched multiple times that had this kind of barn setting.
Yeah.
And barns are both really cool and really creepy, so I definitely like the barn element. Is his shirt off because it helps him with this project, or is this just because...
He's got a flex.
I mean, I guess he's sweaty and he doesn't want to sweat into his nice flannel there. Because, when it's summer at the lake, you wear jeans and long sleeve flannels.
Yes.
We've got some good misdirection here. What do you mean, is anyone in here? You idiot. I've been in places that had these, like, winding spiral staircases. They're very weird. It's like, you always feel like you're going to fall down.
They're not the highest grade construction.
No. I feel like the whole time everything's going to collapse. What is that on the wall back there? Is that like a jackalope? And those two spotlights on the wall are shining at what? Yeah, because somebody screaming is definitely going to be... The screaming was going to be coming from in there. So good. So, I guess that really sets up his character.
Yeah.
I mean, his character actually probably has the most character development out of all of them.
Yeah.
Unlike this woman. What is this woman? Asian? What is she? Sorry, Shelley. I appreciate you. So far, we've had, as far as cars go in this franchise, we've had 2 Jeeps and 2 Volkswagen Beetles. I mean, aside from that opening scene in 2 that didn't make any sense, where Alice dies, that one actually, so far, is outpacing this one. This one's kind of...
There's not much traction going on.
Yeah, it's clunky.
Yeah.
You know, it's more about character development, really. They haven't...
And gags here and there, yeah.
Yeah, laugh at this, joke at that.
Yeah.
There hasn't really been any sort of... We've had 2 false scares.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
We haven't seen Jason do anything like 20 minutes.
Right. Whoa. What you trying to say?
DC Comics.
Green Valley, New Jersey. I love this woman. Ah. This is funny. I can't imagine that.
Oh.
It's always... I love the use of the word rubber. I think rubber is a great term. How weird is it that there's a biker gang in this small town in New Jersey,
nowhere. Yeah.
And the leader is a mixed race woman. And these people haven't done anything wrong. It's solely... I don't know. It's very bizarre that they would just bully people for no reason.
Yeah, I mean... It's weird.
Just wearing chains around his neck. And that was probably a mistake.
Oh, no.
So, interestingly, this black man has caused more of a threat in this film than Jason has.
So far.
Just another thug. Oh, there's our first 3D gag in a while. I don't remember what the last one was, but...
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but...
I would just get the hell out of there. Just leave it alone.
And... That's actually not where I was going, but...
Okay.
When was the last time that somebody was able to punch through a windshield? Like that.
It's not realistic, no.
Not at all.
The tempered glass is not easy to just break.
There's a good 3D gag.
Yeah.
Which is weird because in the film, it's going down.
Yeah.
Up and down, but to us... Wearing, if you're wearing the 3D, it's coming out. So it's a weird... I guess it's supposed to be from her point of view that it's coming right at my face, but...
Yeah.
so weird. Like,
Yeah.
especially since this is, in theory, just days after the end of the previous film.
Yeah.
He's got a whole different wardrobe on.
Yeah. Different look altogether.
Like, obviously, he still had access to that camp. Don't you think maybe he would... Like, the hood that he was wearing was pulled off of him and laid right next... Like, they just took it off.
Yeah.
He could have easily put it back on. Why not still wear the hood?
And he just happens to wander off to the exact place the new people end up showing up at.
Higgins Hollow or...
Haven.
Higgins Haven. Why? I don't understand all these long sleeve. He's got, what is this sweater he's got around his neck? He's got a long pant. He's got a long shirt. He's got a cardigan. It's summer. Where did Jason get these outfits? This outfit from?
I don't know. He's
He was
been
just wearing
wearing
overalls
it since the start
and
of the film.
overalls
I don't
and denim just a day ago. Here's another scenario where the girl is being the aggressor in the sex game. That looks more like Jason's feet than Jason's feet.
That's the biker.
Springsteen, the boss. I like that he just barks. I think this was actually a thing back then. I think this whole like siphoning gas, especially during the gas crisis of the late 70s. I don't know. This whole thing was very foreign to me, even as a child. I didn't understand the science, like how a siphon worked. Like, it's just, the whole thing is weird.
Yeah.
Obviously they're doing it to teach these guys a lesson.
Yeah.
And that does come into play later on, but
yeah. Seems, you got these tough biker people who probably kick some ass, and this is their idea of revenge. Let's steal their fuel.
Right. Right. They actually had their property ruined.
Yeah, damaged.
So instead of fighting fire with fire and returning the damage...
Yeah, a real biker game would come there with...
guns and
a couple pipes that beat the shit out of all their cars and everything, and
right, burn the barn down.
Damaged. Yeah, right. Burn it down. These are, again, goofy characters in a certain way. Things are played for gags and comedy a little bit more. It was like...
No, that's a great shot.
Yeah.
That's reminiscent of 2, and
Yeah.
Which I guess, the Steve Miner influence is here, that it's, that just out of frame, emerging into the frame kind of thing. I really like that. To me, that's scary. I mentioned in the last one that we did that how much I enjoyed The Strangers.
Yeah.
And a very similar type of style where it's, just somebody kind of coming into the background.
Yeah.
To me, that is like the most scary, realistic kind of horror.
Yeah.
That somebody's watching, somebody's in the room with me.
You think you're completely alone, but there's someone there that you don't know about.
Right.
That,
terrifying. To me, is the most terrifying. They really could have done that better with the tines of the pitchfork being in 3D. Like, from her point of view, like, she almost landed on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a missed opportunity, in my opinion. I've always thought that. Who's up there? like, I never understood those kind of rhetorical questions like that. Like, if somebody's up there, are they going to answer you?
Yeah.
Oh, take it into the barn and start... So that is their intention, is to burn down the barn.
Okay.
And it's a double rib because then the car doesn't have gas. So it actually... It works in two ways.
Okay.
That does look like fun. I would do that. Although, knowing me, I'd get motion sickness and throw up all over everybody. So in the 1 second that he looked down at the can, she was snatched off of the rope?
And disappeared from sight.
That makes no sense.
No.
Boy, when you really break this down, it's not as good as I remember.
No.
But I love it. I just love this movie.
Well, yeah, the thing always held against is that it does start getting cheesy and kind of... the characters aren't as strongly built as the previous two films had, and just starts playing things a little bit more lightly here and there. So even with the music and stuff like that, they're adding more jump scares, false things with the music and everything. So it's like it's luring you down different paths. It's not as tightly focused on the tension and everything.
It's definitely the beginning of that 80s
indulgence.
Yep, that's a good word. Now that's a cool shot. I like that they showed that just to... And there's... Maybe that's why they didn't pitchfork gag the previous one, because here... Now that's cool. But it's always the handle. This is the third time that it's been the handle.
Yeah.
I really think they squandered an opportunity on that.
Yeah.
She was still moving. Whatever.
Can't be perfect.
Nah. Those old metal gas cans. It's crazy to think back at some of the way containers were back in the day. Things that come in plastic now are in glass jars in the 50s and 60s. And you go, how did they afford that?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. I like that vest. Oh, flying crossbody.
Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah, absolutely. And, our first machete. Interesting that the first use of the mask and the machete both came from the same film. And with one blow, 2 blows, 3 blows.
No, because he did slit the upside down guy's throat with the machete in the last one, I think.
He did.
Yeah. So.
Where did he get that from? Who knows?
Wherever.
Wait, so they went they went swimming, and they were all alone, and they didn't bone then? Now they're gonna go roll in the hay, quote unquote? And I always wondered, where was this?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that the same shirt that Betsy Palmer wore in the first film?
It's very similar.
The same sweater.
It's very similar.
Leftover wardrobe. I'm sure he's much larger framed than Betsy was, though.
It looks terrible on him.
Oh yeah, it's not suited for a man.
Like, I just want to know where this is. Like, why?
This little
Yeah, they got in the
cove
car.
or whatnot.
They got in the car
Sewer drainage.
to drive away from wherever so that they could go sit here in the cold and tell us story time while Cheech and Chong take a nap.
I mean, the bearded guy definitely looks like Tommy Chong, like
Yeah.
his fucking stunt double or something.
This is a fun little gag. You ever tried to juggle? Can
No,
you juggle?
Not really.
I'm not very good at it myself.
I'm not highly coordinated.
I've tried it multiple times, and I can't do it. He was doing the roundabout. There's the traditional crossover.
Yeah.
But for a while, he was just doing the circular.
Yeah.
I don't even think I could do that though.
I wonder if that's just how they got the part. Can you juggle? Okay, you got the part.
That's funny.
Or maybe they added it in there when they.
Well, maybe they found out that they could both juggle, and then
Maybe,
they said,
who
"Let's write a
knows?
scene in."
Maybe. But yeah, this pace is a lot slower than the previous film.
Yeah, it's just it's like they're trying to get us to know all these characters.
Yeah.
Maybe because there's more characters, really.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's funny that goofy guy from the second film, the tall, skinny guy with the abs.
Oh, okay.
He lived.
He lived.
Who
never to be heard from again?
Who'd have thought of that when you started the movie?
Yeah.
Well, none of these people are going to live, so.
Nope.
They definitely like increased body count here.
Yeah.
I mean, this is pretty stereotypical slasher film.
Yeah.
And there's just not a lot happening.
No, that's. I mean, again, you got the same director, both films. The part two is like I said before in the commentary is like it was such a tightly paced and crafted. They were lean, mean, going straight at it. Here, they're being looser in places. Maybe it's just change of screenwriters. I don't know.
Of all the places that they could have done it,
yeah, it would be very awkward.
It would, and I mean,
to,
I understand the novelty of the hammock,
eh.
but I feel like there were multiple places where they could have had a more comfortable experience.
Yes, I mean.
Meanwhile, these two have been sitting off just telling stories.
Again, next to a drainage ditch, having a conversation.
And this relationship is very weird. Like they alluded to the idea that these two had been together whenever she was here previously. When I was a kid, I always thought that I missed something. Like I thought there was another film in there.
Yeah, this Rick guy is not very well developed. I don't even know where he goes in the film, how he gets killed off. I have no memory of it whatsoever.
I do, but at the same time, like I don't understand who is he in relation to this place, to her. Obviously, they had a thing when she was there 2 years ago.
Is he?
He never heard the story apparently about her.
She got assaulted. Accosted.
Right. She obviously had a run-in with Jason previously, but never told him about it. And now she's choosing to tell him about it after not seeing him for 2 years. Like, I'm wondering if there weren't scenes or script sections that were removed or changed or edited or taken out.
Something. I can't see the Friday the 13th films having as many piles of scripts as like Elm Street films, where they kept trying to rewrite things and coming up with different ideas. I can't imagine they did too many drafts on these things, or maybe the fact that they didn't do enough drafts.
Well, yeah. I'm just wondering if there wasn't like some other scene or line of dialogue or something that was edited down.
Yeah.
That explains their relationship.
Yeah. But this is where continuity goes out the window, because now we're seeing Jason as he appears in this film
from years ago.
From years ago, not looking anything like he did in the previous film.
Which was just 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Or 3 days ago, or whatever in the storyline.
In the wardrobe he just picked up this morning.
They actually show a lot more of his head and face here than I remember.
Yeah. Well, they're still trying to not give you a full reveal of it, just like an impression of it here and there.
Also, she blacked out and doesn't know what happened, but he didn't kill her. He just takes one swipe at people that he doesn't even know and murders them.
It doesn't make any sense. Fans have speculated there's something a little bit more salacious.
What, they raped her?
I don't know. That's what some people think. I don't buy into it. Because there's no precedent for it. Before this or after this, that Jason does anything like that. He kills. That's all he does.
And here she says she woke up and they act like nothing happened, and maybe it was a dream.
Yeah, but they play it as a rape victim would on like a primetime drama. A trauma occurred. I can't remember what happened. Someone accosted me. Someone assaulted me. I don't remember what happened. As you could transplant into a Law and Order SVU episode. That same setup. Not saying that I buy into it. I don't.
Oh yeah.
I don't buy into that. That sorts out with the character of Jason. It doesn't.
Why would he rape somebody? That's so. I mean, if he's gonna rape somebody, he picked a good one to do it because she's cute. But I'm just saying. I don't think that's not. That's so ridiculous.
It doesn't. I mean, like I said, there's no precedent before this moment for that. Nothing else plays really into it later on, except from some moment of just recognition between the two of them. But he doesn't. There's no follow up on that type of idea.
Right? Because I think when they see each other later,
I don't understand why.
She's like, "Oh my god!"
I don't understand why it has to be in the film at all.
It doesn't.
There's
other
no
than the fact
that trying to give her some kind of emotional background for the film, to build her character up in a different way than you did the previous two heroines.
But in order to do that, you have to have the man, somebody to tell the story to.
Yeah.
And so they just created him out of thin air.
Yeah.
There's a lot of toilets in this franchise.
There's a nice toilet scene in number 5.
That's one of my favorite ones.
That's the king of them. I never understood that when the sword looks like it was turned inside out. I never got that style either.
I don't know if I would go to these two people as being, the pillars of fashion.
No. They grabbed the stuff out of the Salvation Army or something.
Or it happened to be what they owned.
Exactly. The moon on the door is a nice touch.
Well, that's the old outhouse thing.
Yeah.
The star for the men and the moon for the women.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I think that's the way it went.
Yeah.
And
I don't see much reason for it. Just knock on the door, see if anyone's in there.
Well,
it's not like they're having different styles of facilities as an outhouse.
No, I think it was. I don't know, but that was a thing. That was the idea. There was a moon. I think it was a moon for the women and a star for the men.
Yeah.
And there was some sort of ridiculous theory that, for whatever reason, a lot of the moon ones are left and the star ones are gone.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was that the men didn't take care of their bathrooms or something. I don't know. It's silly, but almost every outhouse that you see in a movie will have a moon on the door.
We offer fascinating insights on this podcast.
Hey, you never know. You never know who knows what. I know a bunch of useless shit.
Oh. Sure.
What is this she's wearing around her neck right now? Looks like a boot. Is that her lighter?
It's an inhaler.
Inhaler? Does she have asthma? This weed smoker extraordinaire? No, that's a boot.
Be an interesting twist. Oh no, the asthma thing is like if you got this character with asthma, like I do.
You have asthma?
I do.
I didn't know that.
Yes. But if you have a character with asthma and they're in like a tense situation, a horror film, and then they can't breathe, that'd be an interesting idea. Never seen that really. Not too much.
Well, we had that gal in Nightmare 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's interesting
But yeah,
idea regardless.
Yeah,
Someone
I mean, it's underused.
Who can't fill their lungs to even scream in a scary situation. It's a fair idea.
Okay, that's a bad reaction.
The
screaming I get, the standing up and looking to see who it is, I mean, you and I would turn around and we'd be the hell out of there.
Yeah.
If somebody reached up out of the lake...
Yeah, you're scurrying away very
Fuck
quickly.
that. I'm taillights.
Fuck all.
I agree with her at this point.
Yeah.
Like, he's already, like...
Because you compare with the character of Ted, the Joker in the previous film. You play a prank and everyone has a nice laugh after it and then just...
Even if it's a
have a good
groaner,
time. Yeah.
you play it off and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
But then he was just normal for a while.
Yeah.
He was eccentric, but he was normal.
We're just having a good time. Everyone's just having a good time. But Shelley's a little bit more kind of like... The joke's on you. We're not having a joke in general. I'm just doing this to fuck around with you. Or something like that, It's a little bit more...
And it's really...
He's trying to scare people instead of just doing a gag or not to have a laugh. He's just trying to get people to freak out and be scared and just... Which is not what the character of Ted did in the previous film. He just kind of did a little something here and there. Was kind of goofy or whatnot.
It felt more real.
Yeah. Light and more good-natured. This one's a little bit more... I wouldn't say mean-spirited, but it's just... Shelley's approach to everything is just like... He's having a laugh at your expense, is what he's doing.
Right. And also, kind of the whole point of him doing that in these movies, or in this, the sequence of events, is to make you, like, either feel bad for him that nobody likes him, but I feel like it turns around and everybody just doesn't like him.
Yeah.
Like, he just becomes an unlikable guy.
It's
supposed to be a lovable loser kind of thing.
It's supposed to be a lovable loser, but he comes off as the guy someone's like a semi-friend with at the fringe of the group or whatnot that's tagging along on the journey, but no one really wants him there.
Right. And it's a shame because I think the lovable loser could have been a much better character.
Yeah. Which number 4 does very nicely.
Lovable loser? Yeah.
Yeah. You get where I'm going.
I do.
Yes.
I'm already laughing thinking about the next one. I can't do that. I thought this was a nice touch that she still had his wallet. And a picture of him and his mom. Which, oh, look at that. He's a human after all, and you're just a cunt.
Oh.
Interestingly, obviously Jason gets his entire iconic look from Shelley, but we never actually see him kill him.
I don't think so, no.
No. We get a reveal on the dead body later on.
Which is probably so it plays up to the characters yet again that think it's another prank.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
one of the first times that it actually does make sense.
Yeah. There we go.
Vera, you realize that that's not a fat Jew wearing a wetsuit?
With a giant white man fro.
Great shot.
This is a good gag here. That's one of the best. But again, the makeup effects quality is going down a little bit more with this film. A little.
Yeah. Which could have been an MPAA thing, too.
Possibly.
Oh, so that's how you do it in a hammock. I always wondered. Is that it? That was the best one? I didn't hear any noises. I didn't see any...
Was it you, me, or the hammock?
Now he's got his machete again.
Yeah.
This is, we're coming up on one of my favorite kills in the whole series.
Oh, yes, yes.
I just think it's creative. Looks like terrible water pressure.
Yes. Taking a shower with her necklace on, too. That's...
A little weird.
Yeah.
I tried walking on my hands once.
Yeah. Nope.
I can barely do a handstand.
I couldn't.
And I have a feeling it has a lot to do with my being unable to be upside down.
I just wouldn't have the strength of my arms to do it.
This, I think, is so cool.
Yeah.
And split in half.
Oh.
Right through the groin. That would hurt a little.
Yes.
That would hurt a little bit. There's a lot of, like, praying Buddha type decor in this particular bathroom.
What's up with you, Mr. Art Director?
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Wish I had a purple bathroom. It's funny how, at this point, there's no rhyme or reason for why Jason is killing all these people.
Yeah, they haven't trespassed on his property.
Right.
Unless now you expand the whole thing to the entire lake area, which, sure, so, why not?
It's our third camp now on this one tiny little lake.
But at least on the second film, the two people actually did cross over into the area.
Well, right, it made sense.
It's tenuous, but it's enough.
It worked.
They lured him out, so. Jason decided to go for a stroll. It's like, oh, more people for me to kill. All right, I'll stay around here for a day or two.
Right, because he had 20 years worth of people to kill that he didn't.
Yeah.
And then he killed
another 5 years of
thinking about the one
sitting around smacking mosquitoes around in the forest.
Maybe he was the one that poisoned the water and all that business, and it wasn't Mrs. Voorhees.
Maybe. It was just him pissing in the lake. That
rug or
rug.
throw.
Yeah, that The fur rug or whatever the heck that thing is. Looks like a dead animal.
She's reading Fangoria.
Fango.
And about Tom Savini.
Tom Savini and they go with Zilla there.
Why would it start dripping now?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it have been dripping?
Holy
Look at that.
Mother.
Awesome.
Awesome. Not as good as the Kevin Bacon effect.
Agreed. I don't remember that level of detail on the upshot of him.
Yeah,
because I mean he was literally split in half.
Yeah, you could see some innards.
Innards, yeah. I don't mind that. Unbelievable. Dude, do you know how hot that is?
I would not.
He'd be burned so badly. Well, there's a line.
I really don't see these two as a pair.
Me either.
What the heck?
Me either. This just makes no sense. I mean, aside from the fact that they both like weed. At some point here, does she put on a batch of new popcorn?
I don't know.
Because I seem to recall a burning popcorn later on, and clearly she just dumped it into a bowl and put salt on it. You have a flashlight. People always talk to themselves in these horror movies, and I guess that's just, a way for them to relate, so the audience can know what they're thinking and doing. It just doesn't feel natural. I don't buy that many people in life talk to themselves like that. I mean, I've been known to... I live alone, so sometimes I talk to myself. I don't know. I just... Things like, nothing to be afraid of, man. Like, I don't think I would say that.
You can't say that. Like, the dialogue in this film is particularly refined quality.
It ain't winning no Oscars. That's for sure. I do feel like some horror films in their day should have been considered.
There are some, yes.
Like for screenplays or for, cinematography or what have you.
Special effects work or something like that.
Oh, we do see Shelley die.
Oh, okay.
And now I will say that it is nice to do this Boy Who Cried Wolf scenario because nobody believes him when he actually dies.
Yeah.
So they did get that part right.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
That's a good...
Yeah, that's really well done.
Yes.
Ow.
That's nice.
Look at that Lipton tea box.
Yes.
Oh, she does put on another batch. I don't know why she would need to, because they haven't eaten the first batch yet. Old record player. Okay, so again, I don't think this is a very accurate reaction.
Yeah. There's some horror films where I feel like screams are very forced. They don't feel very natural. People scream at things that doesn't seem to be realistic.
She's terrible.
Yeah, she's not doing a good job here at all.
And the hot poker all the way through.
Yeah.
Man, that would hurt. The poker... I think being impaled in general would hurt. I think being burned would hurt. That's a combination of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that. Although maybe the hot poker would cauterize the wound as it goes through.
Oh, look, who just showed up back in the film after like 10 minutes. Our main star.
Oh, Mrs. Voorhees and his girlfriend.
Yeah. What happened with the damn car? They had the Jeep or whatnot?
The bug.
But they walked back?
Well, yeah, the battery died. Remember, while they were
Oh.
storytelling, the lights went out, the battery died.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Sometimes we get so engaged in conversation that we stop paying attention. And also, we're watching with very little volume, so it tends to, things slip past the goalie a little bit.
Yeah. Subtitles help a little bit, though. Closed captioning.
I still want to know, where did this guy come from? Does he live in this house normally?
That's what I was wondering. It's like, is he just the caretaker of the house while they're out for 11 months of the year not using this place? That's always the thing I wonder about summer homes. Like, okay, you're there, you spend a couple of weeks there or something like that every year. Does someone take care of it through the winter and the fall and everything?
I mean, okay, fine. I guess they had to write a way for these two to get out of the house, so that they could come back and be and find everybody.
Not as inventive as it was in the previous film. Going out for some drinks, good times. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I think that's a wonderful shot.
Yeah.
Especially because Rick is in the light and Jason was in the dark.
Yeah.
And it's right around the corner from where
Yeah. It's
they
right
were.
outside. She went out the other door, which...
And...
Oh, that's a bad effect.
Yep, it was a bad face.
That was bad news.
Bad.
Look better on VHS, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. 100%. See, that's exactly the kind of... That's
Where's
happened...
that coming from?
That's happened multiple times in this film.
That's what you do when you're trying to adapt a novel to the screen and you can't figure out how to express inner thoughts on film. That's what happens.
You don't need to say, where's that coming from? You go, oh God. You react.
Yeah, if you have a quick reaction, it sells it on screen. You don't have to...
Right.
If that happens and you just look up and then she just runs upstairs, that's all you need. You don't have to vocalize every random thought that pops into the character's head to convey something.
As you and I both have, dabbled in screenwriting, we know that actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, and that's something I always have to kind of turn off because I get so focused on dialogue that I have to remember what the actor's going to bring to the role, what they can convey with just their expression or their body language, what they can do more with showing instead of me trying to tell it.
I feel like it goes back to my love of Heather Langenkamp in the first Elm Street film. She does subtle things with her eyes and with her body language that tells more of a story than her words do. And I feel like
that's how you tell inner workings of a character.
Right. And so when you're walking along and then you get something dripped on you and you stop and say, gee, where is this coming from?
Yeah.
It's so it takes you completely out of the story.
It's a dull thud of a moment.
Yeah. God, it really takes you out of the moment. I mean, yelling for Rick isn't a bad idea.
No.
I feel like that's pretty natural.
Yeah.
But how many times in this movie was there one of those, stupid, just, let me narrate what's going on by silly, talk to myself kind of statements.
It's almost turning into like a Naked Gun gag, but First the window's open, then the door's open, then the other window's open.
Yeah, it feels very Funhouse.
Yeah.
And for maybe the third film in a row now, we're going to have a through the window gag.
Yeah, it's blatantly set up here. There we go.
Well, there's Rick.
Bye-bye, Rick.
Nighty-night.
You had to die in that sweater.
Oh. Hopefully the sweater died with him. Great shot there.
Yeah. There's a lot of iconic shots of Jason in this film once he gets the mask. They really film him well.
I wonder if that has to do with Brooker himself. Like, I wonder if it's Brooker that...
A little
and
bit.
his movements and his...
body language and everything, or just... He projects something on screen, a strength.
What is that on the left hanging on the wall with the nose? And it really goes well with this one back here that I still don't know what it is.
I think the art director was smoking some of that weed.
Is that a hoof? Or some kind of... I think it was some kind of hoof, cloven hoof that was mounted to the wall.
Yeah, this art director was smoking something, man. I don't know what he was on. Gonna walk right into a dead body, I'm sure. There we go.
And Jason really likes to kill somebody and then move that body and put it somewhere else. Now, why in the world would he put it in this closet? How would he know that somebody was going to go into the closet to find the body? Why not just leave her in the goddamn hammock?
Well, it's also built off of Halloween when Jamie Lee Curtis goes into our house and the body falls off the ceiling and there's one in the cabinet or whatnot. So it's like it's building off of that idea just because it adds more, another moment for the character to the screen. That looks like cardboard, for Christ's sake.
Ooh, that was a good shot.
Yeah.
There's some more dirt and dust on the lens.
Yeah.
Camera lens.
Yeah, I have to wonder if they cleaned this up for the Blu-ray or not. Since we're just watching the old DVD version from the box set.
Ooh, that's got a sting.
Well, that's nice.
You could see the string though. They shot it in reverse.
Oh, okay.
You could see the string in the end of the handle.
Well, that sucks.
This wouldn't be the first, or I guess I shouldn't say, it wouldn't be the last falling out of a window from a second story gag that we have in this.
There's a couple more coming, yeah.
And, I mean, how many ankles would she have broken right there out of two? 2 out of 2?
Maybe.
She definitely didn't tuck and roll.
No.
She just kind of fell like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah.
And it looked like it might have been her. Hard to say, though.
Okay, now why is she going back up to the door to look to see if... Run away!
Right.
Run!
Bitch, get going!
Or is she trying to out fake him?
Thinking maybe if he'll leave? That looks like...
Just so happens he actually walked out the correct door for her to do that.
Well, that's why she looked in the first window to see what door he was going out of. Guess what? This van has no gas. It's got a shitload of shag carpet, but no gas.
And no keys. Oh, the keys.
Now, wouldn't you maybe make a stop? Oh, okay. I was going to say she does try to run him over. She looks very confident here. I liked the like, what's happening? That's not a very accurate line either.
No, that's... No.
Like, if she'd have just screamed no over and over again...
Yeah.
That would have made much more sense. And now, I realize you probably think we're being picky. But it's stuff like that. Like I said, it takes you out of the moment.
Yeah.
And I want to be...
as terrified, immersed in the moment.
Yeah, I want to be as terrified as she is.
Yeah.
And I can't be because...
The dialogue just is dunderheaded.
Yeah. That's a good move.
It's a good move. I like how he breaks out of it, too. Which is...
Well, he is wearing a face helmet.
Exactly, using the mask to his advantage.
I don't know
break it.
I still don't buy that the glass would break that easily.
No, it wouldn't.
He's very nimble. Agile.
Yeah. And limping.
All of a sudden, he's selling the knee.
He's selling the knee, man.
Well, he just got a whole shank. He pulled like 8 inches of a steak knife out of it.
Like Ric Flair just slapped a figure 4 on him. Blood on the hand. See, kind of like that when you see Jason kind of beat up a little bit, but he's still this juggernaut that keeps coming after you.
And this is the first film where that really happens.
Yeah.
And there really isn't any rhyme or reason as to why he's so...
different from the previous.
Yeah, I guess just in general, like, why is he such a maniacal... I don't know, I feel like there's something missing. Like, all of a sudden, he's the main focus. And he's indestructible already.
Yeah, we're going to definitely get that soon. I mean, talking about Brooker alone, I don't know if it's part of the prosthetics or whatnot, but he's got those big shoulders, the big traps and whatnot. It just adds something more to this, like...
intimidation,
his presence that he has. It's like he's this hunched over beast or whatnot.
I feel like he's much more... Like, this, it feels like a completely different character.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And he's so much more aggressive. And, bitch, just stand still. Like, you don't be moving around.
Yeah.
I bet this was kind of fun for old Dick Brooker to, just...
Could ramshackle some shit.
Yeah. And we get a crotch to the face in 3D. And he's wearing an undershirt.
Yes. Probably to hide a little bit of the line of prosthetics.
Could be.
I'm sure.
He's all machete in this film, really.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously he had some pitchfork, but... Dude, a bale of hay, that weighs a shit ton. I don't know when the last time you tried to pick up move a bale of hay, but...
Never.
They are heavy.
But of course... Of course, we just saw Jason hurl Rick through a freaking window, or probably guy probably weighs 220.
Yeah. That close-up on his neck makeup and whatever, not good.
No.
It looks very plastic.
Yeah.
Rubbery.
Like I said, the down-taking quality is very substantial with the makeup effects in this one.
He just, I don't know if it's Brooker, but man, he just really feels different in this film.
Yeah. I mean, up until Kane, it kept being a different guy every time, so...
I'm just saying the character feels different. He's so much more...
confident.
Aggressive and...
in control. In the previous film, he wasn't... This is superhuman here, that he's able to survive this.
Being hanged?
Yeah. His neck would be snapped in half.
100%. You can actually tell that he's wearing a harness in that shot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously we don't actually hang people when we make movies, but
No.
obviously he's wearing a harness. But I'm saying that it was obvious.
Yeah.
Unlike in some other films where, you get a hanging or a hooking, or like the chainsaw hook, it's hard to tell that she's on a harness. Interestingly, no false finish music playing here.
Yeah.
It's just kind of silent.
Yeah, which is kind of nice, finally. Surprise is the only exit to the whole place, but I guess that's
the
way the
nature
film
of a
needs to play.
Nature of a barn. I mean, the other exit is up through the top hole where Fox disappeared from and where he just fell from. What a cool shot.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have been so much better if he caught the rope on the way down.
And that's all that backstory amounts to there.
If he'd have grabbed onto the rope on the way down and kind of shimmied down or something. Oh, look he's still around.
He's been sitting around for the fucking day.
And he just lost an arm. And something else. That hanging was really egregious.
Mm-hmm.
And old Blackie is losing a whole lot more than just a hand.
Oh, it's all gone. This is iconic here.
Again, here's yet
Superhuman.
another instance of how would he be moving.
Yeah.
And again, the axe handle sticking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, kick him and make sure he's dead. And this...
And now we're replaying the end of the first film again, which...
yeah, it's unfortunate.
It's already gotten tired.
Yeah. It's interesting how 1, 2, and 3 actually, even though 2, 3, and 4 take place over
the course of a couple of days.
A few days, 1, 2, and 3 feel like a trilogy.
Yeah.
And 4, 5, and 6 feel like a second trilogy.
Yeah. And then it falls off from there.
Right. And then after that, it's just every man for himself, and it's just increasingly stupid.
Yeah. Everything has its own different feel and style going forward after 6.
And this is not the same lake, FYI.
No.
Like, this is somebody's backyard pond.
It's a very murky looking pond, too. Because at the end of the first film, there's a beautiful looking serene area. This looks like crap.
I feel maybe it's like a little inlet or something, like
a little creek or something like that. That's fucking driftwood.
Another spot on the screen there.
Yeah.
Spot on the lens. They're all over this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, duck. And that's kind of a scary image.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole, spying somebody through a window that's watching you.
Yeah.
It's kind of the Fred Krueger or the Wes Craven story in reverse.
Yeah.
He looks so rubbery.
Yeah.
Bitch, just get out and run.
Well, so glad they could have hired Michael Berryman instead.
Yeah, yeah.
Not far off from that.
Yeah. Why?
No,
She's got worms coming out of her face. She's wearing Rick's sweater.
Yeah.
But again, we're going to do the whole dream thing.
Which, again, doesn't make any sense because she doesn't know jack shit about Mrs. Voorhees.
Right.
She doesn't know anything about the backstory of Jason or anything.
Agreed.
So.
Great hair on this guy.
The guy on the right's got the Eric Estrada thing going.
Yeah. Yeah, she would have no knowledge of.
Yeah, she doesn't voice any knowledge of it anywhere in the film.
In fact, I don't recall them really talking much about.
I don't think they mentioned Voorhees anywhere in the film.
No. I mean, the only connection was the two people at the grocery store at the beginning who were watching the news.
Yeah, that was it.
And obviously, this is the same, town, right?
Yeah.
I like this kind of crane shot, though. That's how the movie opened, and it's how the movie ends, which I think is kind of neat. It starts up high and then kind of comes down in.
And this just lingers. It doesn't... There's no definitive statement or anything. Just kind of letting that tingle kind of come in underneath the audience.
And then this, I feel like, is unnecessary. The ripple.
Yeah, it's not...
Why?
Terribly necessary. There's our disco music again.
I do like the disco music. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a minute since I've seen it, and I've always loved this movie, so maybe it's a nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
But when we're really breaking it down like this, and we're, talking about, aside from my silly observations about people's belts and wall decor, but when you're actually, breaking it down, it doesn't hold up as well.
Yeah. Like I said before, I don't think they might spend a lot of time with characters, but I don't think they developed them to be as authentic as the previous two films. They feel a bit, a little cheesy. The stoner stuff is very typical. The biker stuff is played goofy. There's
it's
not stuff that feels
it's archetypal more than than human.
Yeah.
Really, we could have done without the stoners and just had two people that were real people.
Yeah.
And not... Although I would argue that the two stoners might be more real than,
but
some of the other characters.
What they are is very transparent in the film. They're capitalizing a little bit on success of a different franchise of people because obviously, like I said, the one guy looks exactly like Tommy Chong.
Right.
He could be his stunt double, like I said, a stand-in or something like that, a look-alike.
I realize that that we're perhaps reading too much into it. Obviously, this isn't supposed to be a cinematic masterpiece.
No.
It's 1982 or 83 or whatever. This isn't Terms of Endearment.
Right.
It's popcorn fodder.
It's a low-budget slasher film that's supposed to just tantalize the audience for 90 minutes to get on with your day.
I'm very much entertained by this movie. But if we're comparing apples to apples, which is kind of the point of these shows that we're doing here for you, ultimately it's not as good of a movie, quote unquote, as the second one.
It's not as tight, not as focused, and doesn't have as much, doesn't lay its...
Oh, Steve Miner was the newscaster.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Cool. But yeah, it's not as tight, it's not as focused as the previous two films were, even if the first one was a lot more of a very, very slow burn. it still had everything very straight and focused more on what it was trying to do.
Right. There were means
to
all the
dabble
ends.
in different tones and trying to do a few little sillier things here and there. So it was slightly experimental, especially doing the 3D stuff too. So they're playing up to the 3D gag, so they had to play a little bit more lighter tones here and there to get away with that. Because if you're doing a very straight, serious horror film, that would stand out very much like a sore thumb. So they probably had to work around things and play around. So they probably a little bit on shaky ground.
Yeah, you can't do 3D in a Amadeus.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm excited because the cheese factor is going to get real high in the next film, and the 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Number 5, definitely.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah,
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to 4. Thanks everybody for playing along with number 3.
Yes.
If there's something we missed, shoot us comments. We love to read the comments.
Yes.
I don't have a poll for you this time, though.
We're still collating the results of the previous poll, so we'll have it ready for you for the final chapter, which is not the final film, but number 4 will be coming soon. So
hopefully we'll get a poll for you in that one, too. Some kind of poll. We love the poll.
Yeah, so we'll get around to that in due time. So, guys, thank you so much for listening. We definitely appreciate you, so take care. Later.
Bye-bye.